And every great movement is never, I like that word, artificially stimulated. It's not sustainable. A movement is led by the people. And yes, there's been someone who put a thought out there initially and was a little bit of a thought leader, and they become a little bit of a facilitator. But a movement has to happen from the group.
The topical thing right now is people are all talking about communities, like all businesses need a kind of community. What do if you talk about a movement, what do you think the sort of building blocks of a movement are? And what are the pieces you think you need to focus on?
When you look at great communities, they're not actually focused on communities, they're focused on a mission. And through that shared mission, we get excited, we find similarities with each other, and we want to come together, we want to band together and get connected, and then we do community acts. When you're just focused on building community, like you've probably seen back in the younger days when you threw a party, you've got to the best parties always had some reason why we're there, like a theme or something like that. But if you're saying we're just coming in to connect people, people don't really like that. You can try to put a bunch of people together and yeah, this isn't for me. But if you have a shared mission, you can have the most random people together and they'll find a way to connect. So that's really what I think about a movement is a group of people who are realizing, wow, this is something which I want, whatever that organization stands for or whatever they're offering, that's something which will help me in my life. And if I know that if more people are on this similar mindset, it's going to make it easier for me to actually live this life as well. And there's this collective agreement that we're like, wow, the world would be better if we start doing that.
If you unlock this idea of a movement, it implies followers. It implies, people joining you on your path. That, if you're walking alone on a path, it's not a movement. You're just somebody on a walk. If there's a whole bunch of people with you, then you're in a movement. And I think the opportunity I see for companies and brands, if they tap into this, they get the opportunity to get a group of people that cares about them and comes along for the ride and contributes. And, it becomes an almost self-fulfilling thing, as opposed to something that needs to be artificially stimulated with ads or click-through rates or dark patterns or any of the things that have sort of a lot of the greatest minds of our generation are spending a lot of their time on, is getting people to make those accidental choices that they didn't necessarily want to.
Every great movement is never, I like that word, artificially stimulated. It's not sustainable. A movement is led by the people. And yes, there's been someone who put a thought out there initially and was a little bit of a thought leader, and they become a little bit of a facilitator. But a movement has to happen from the group. And that's something which is really, really important. If you're forcing things down, I'll challenge you whether that's a movement or whether you're playing like the guru role. And that's not sustainable. We need to have the people keep driving it and understand this is good for them. And then they become champions of it and ambassadors, and they keep sharing and talking. You have such a privilege being in marketing. Like, you really guide people on this. And when you think about it, marketers actually know that what you're trying to give them is a feeling. You're focused on what is the feeling that they're going to have after experiencing whatever your product or service is. A lot of people get so focused on their benefits and features of the bells, like the shiny objects of how good their product is, that they forget that what ultimately people want to do is feel a particular way. And that's our role as a marketer, is to help them see that they're going to feel this way.
The worlds of sales and marketing and experience are all collapsing into each other. So this becomes even harder to do. But when it's successful, it's not just a really good campaign. It's a really good experience that somebody has from when they meet you all the way through to when they've finished using your product or service or whatever that is. And that can, like you say, have a fundamental impact on that person, which long term, if you can do that over and over again for people, like, how could you not be successful? How could you not achieve whatever it is that you are going after, if that's how you're getting people to sort of care and react about, the difference you've made in their lives?
People remember moments. Life is a bunch of moments. That's all it is. And when you look back in your life, the people who have really fond memories of their life is people who have made memorable moments. And what it takes to make a memorable moment compared to something else is some intentionality. They've 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 seen it, and they've created a container. They've created a situation which we've connected, and it invokes feelings in ourselves. So we haven't just evoked the feelings, we've come connected to those feelings, and then we've done some form of ritual around it to go, this was a moment. That's really what we're trying to do as marketers, is give people these moments. Like, remember, like, if you could go, I'm sure you've had a product or a service where you discovered it and you're like, oh, my life is changed now because I'm going on a different path.
Hello YouTube, I'm Ross Drakes. I'm the founder of Nicework, and thank you so much for your time at watching this video. If you're seeing me, it means you made it all the way to the end, so we've at least done something right. If you enjoyed this, we'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And I think more important than that is, if you know someone who might need to hear this, if you think someone out there who needs this message in their life, please spread the link, because it makes a huge difference to the world, and it allows us to fulfill our message of making sure that there are no more bad brands in the world. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you in the next video.